You are listening to Framing the Future podcast, presented by the Architectural Authority magazine.
I don't think it's going to disappear. Architecture. I think architecture is the very of the few fields that will go on with AI. Because yes, you have the creativity of AI, but AI cannot build you a house. AI doesn't work with codes. So I think AI, it's a very useful tool that will launch architecture.
This episode is sponsored by our partners at Sitco USA, with the largest selection of marble in all South Florida. Visit Sitco's showroom at Doral and enjoy their extraordinary design collections, including iconic works by renowned artists such as Zaha Hadid, Anish Kapoor, Ferruccio Laviani, Ora Ito, and many more. Framing the Future podcast dives deep into the heart of architecture education and the journeys of those driving the field. We bring you authentic, personal stories from students, graduates, and educators. Let's explore their motivations, learn from their challenges, and celebrate their triumphs. This is your space to connect, learn, and be inspired. Thank you for joining us, and let's get started.
Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of Framing the Future. I'm your host, Ana Paula Leal, and today we have a very special guest who recently graduated with a master's in architecture. I can't wait to share with all of you her journey in the School of Architecture and insights about her career, which is just starting. Welcome, Diana. Can you tell us a little more about yourself and what inspired you to study architecture?
Hi, Anna. Thank you for inviting me to your first episode. As you just said, I just graduated from FIU. I came from Cuba 7 years ago, and I did my associates in Broward College, and then I transferred to FIU. I decided I wanted to go for architecture because I like art. I love painting since I know. And I didn't want to make a career out of art because it's very tough, especially when you don't have relations in the world. So I wanted to go and try architecture. My mom graduated as an architect too, so I decided to go on that path, especially because it goes hand in hand with art. So that's why I wanted to start on that and give it a shot.
Nice. I think I can totally relate with you in that part. Also, what have been in those 5 years of architecture your most challenging experiences and also rewarding experience?
I think my most challenging experience, I can say the comp semester was the most challenging. Hitting on that little reality shot that they gave us. And then the most rewarding experience that I had was, I guess, meeting all the amazing and talented people that go to FIU. You can tell that everyone is a different world. So it's very nice to see how everyone thinks, how different points of view come your way. So it's very rewarding.
And about comprehensive class, for those who doesn't know, can you say more about that change? Because I know that, we both studied at Florida International University, and the first semesters were very creative, right? And then comp, what is that? What was the most difficult part for you about comprehensive class?
About comprehensive class, the thing with FIU is that the thing that I love the most about it is that they teach you how to design with a concept. So it's very, as you said, very conceptual. So comprehensive class is the class where you experience a little bit of what's outside. So for those who don't know, they teach you all the systems, what's HVAC, structures, luminaires, and all that kind of stuff. So what I think was the hardest part about it is maybe the HVAC system.
Yes.
And the way you like put it all together in Revit, because we use this program Revit to like do the whole thing. So at the end, you had to like put it all together, and sometimes, because that's one thing that happens in reality, because when you go through all these stages and then you change something, you have to like go back and then change that stage and modify it to what you have. So I believe, putting it all together at the end was like the hardest part. I don't forget about HVAC. It's just putting it, all the systems, and make it all like correlate, and then making that building work from the beginning to the end was like the hardest part.
And do you have any favorite project that...
Yes, I do. I do have a favorite project. I did it with, what's the name of this professor? Jason Chandler. It was Design 10. I did this project on my own. It was a college project that we did in Chicago. So, do you want me to talk about it?
Yes, sure.
So, it was a college project. I took, as I said, what I loved the most about FIU is designing with the concept. So, I started with the concept. And my concept was the bridges, because we know that Chicago is very industrial, and it has this whole thing with bridges. You see bridges everywhere, bridges crossing the river. And what I did was taking the site, and then I did a 5,000-mile radius along my site, and I took every river that was every bridge that was crossing the river. So I was left with 4 main axes. So I took those axes and made them my circulation. So that was my circulation system inside my my school. So that was the connecting all the classrooms and all the hallways and all that kind of stuff. And also I wanted to implement it into my facade. So I took those axes and then I put them into my my facade system, which it was translucent panels that I used. And they had this inclinations that you could see those axes. So I loved that project because of that concept.
Because you had a strong concept.
I had a strong concept that I could defend it.
Yeah, which sometimes is difficult because concepts is the part that the hardest part of a project to develop. And talking about that same idea, for example, when we had to present to the juror or the professor, and we spent these, nights without sleep, drinking, like energy drinks or cafecitos at 2 a.m. So, and at the end, when you go to present this project, how we receive different type of feedbacks, and we spend so much effort in this. And how did you, I would say, face this type of feedback from the professors, good or bad, when they talk about your project and give you, no, you have, to change it for the 5th time or the 3rd time, the concept, or do it again. And sometimes we felt like, oh my God, am I doing it right?
We take it personal.
That we sometimes take it personal. So in those moments, how did you balance and how did you emotionally and, change that to a positive outcome?
I think I did receive good and bad comments. You just have to understand that those are people that don't know you, don't know the way you think, and they have different backgrounds. So they have different points of view. And it's all valid. Everything is valid. You just don't have to take it personal. I never took it personal. Yes, it damaged me at some point, but I never took it to the limit. So I always took it with a positive mind and thinking that I could always change it after. Because that project that you see there is just a conceptual part of what could be. So you can always take it and modify it as you want. You also have your point of view, and it's totally valid. So I just never took it personal.
That's good. And how has been your transition from a school now to a professional life, to a professional career work?
Well, I've been working the whole time that I've been in FIU. So when I transitioned from lower division to upper division, I started working right there. I was an intern at this firm, and it was a good experience because they taught me reality. So when I was learning conceptual and how to design and how to think, they were teaching me construction. So it was very open, like an eye-opening experience, because you learn to a point where you can take those learnings and put it into your design. So you get to design better. So that was one thing that I thought it was good from working while studying. That's something I always encourage people to do, because so that when you graduate, you don't get too shocked with reality. So the transition it wasn't so hard when I graduated, because I already had some experience. But now that I changed work, I changed positions, I'm not an intern anymore, I get to do more things, I get to get more responsibility at work. And I think it shocks you with reality always.
Yeah.
Because you get to do more every time, but it's something that you have to,
to face,
to learn,
And what do you like the most now in your work doing that you enjoy the most?
What do I enjoy the most? Well, I'm actually new at my job, but what I've been doing this whole time, I like space planning. I like space planning a lot. I like doing facades. I like 3D modeling. So the use of Revit, it's very, very good because you get to see it in 3D. And I didn't used to do that at my old job. I used to do only CAD and sometimes SketchUp, but now I get to experience doing it in Revit. So I think that's amazing. Doing everything in 3D and all the Lumion renderings, things. I think it's really good.
And talking about technology, how do you see architecture from here to 10 years or maybe 5 years with all these innovations like AI, IA, and how do you see the work going in architecture?
I don't think it's going to disappear, architecture. I think that architecture is of the few fields that will go on with AI, because yes, you have the creativity of AI, but AI cannot build you a house. AI doesn't work with codes. So I think AI, it's a very useful tool that will launch architecture and will take it far, So I think this whole thing of the VR and the AI and all those kind of stuff will make architecture more powerful. It's already changing because this BIM programs, Revit, the 3ds Max, SketchUp, this programs that are making architecture easier and will get easier each time.
Yeah, I think I agree with you in that part. And what would be 3 advices that you give to students in the field of architecture from your experience?
Keep track of your time. Keep very good track of your time.
Can you go deeper on that?
I believe it goes on the part of knowing yourself, especially in the morning, night thing. You should know if you're a morning person or a night person. when you work best. So you should be able to know when you're the most productive so you could arrange your time so you can work at that time. You should not be making changes the night before. I don't advise that because it will damage you emotionally and all the damages. So you should just keep good track of your time and you'll be good.
And second advice?
Second advice, keep learning on your own because the school teaches you good stuff. The school teaches you how to design and critically think. But you'll know when you give yourself the good learning. Both in softwares from YouTube and the theoretical part, history and references and all that kind of stuff. So it will give you a vision. It will give you a better vision. And you'll design better.
And the third advice, if you...
just take care of yourself because architecture can damage you if you don't
balance
your
life.
You don't keep a good balance in your life. So you should be able to have a good relationship with school and a good relationship with yourself. So go out. So you should have a good keep of your time. Keep a good track of your time so you can be able to do those things. So you can be able to take care of yourself. So just go out, do the things that you love. Keep learning from other fields, such as art, if you like art, digital stuff, 3D animation, all that kind of stuff that there is out there that's connected to the art world. Or I don't know, music, just keep...
exactly.
Balance,
yes.
Balance yourself.
Did you have any time in those 5 years where you felt overwhelmed with the projects and that you needed to take your time with?
Yes, I did, especially with comp.
And how did you manage that semester? How did you?
It took me a while. Took me a while to understand what I'm saying. Pero you have to do it. I just kept on track of what I needed, and then I assigned days, I assigned hours. I was working, so just don't be afraid to stop working for some time. If you need to take some days, the world's not gonna end for that. So just be mindful of the time that you need, and if you need to take a day off, 2 days off, a week off, do it, because that's gonna give you the time that you need to finish your stuff.
So Diana, we met at an art expo, how many years ago?
I think it was 2 years.
2 years
2
ago.
years ago, 2022, yes. I believe. Yes, it was in 2022. So I think it was one time expo.
Yes.
And we exposed some pieces. It was something about the dark
side. The theme was
something about dark.
Yeah,
I don't remember
a dark place in heaven.
Dark place in heaven.
That's the theme. And that's night that we study architecture, and that we also are linked by art.
Yes, we're connected by art.
Yeah.
So I saw you had some pieces of 3D.
Yeah, I had some 3D pieces, and you had
pen drawings,
which I love. Yes.
So I remember I came by you, and I was drawn to the 3D art that you had. And I was like, this girl knows how to do 3D. So I'm like, let me ask her. And I don't know how we got to a point where we said we were both architecture.
Yeah.
So it was really nice. It was really nice to have met you that way.
Yeah, and I think that's something that architecture gives us tools to explore more the art and things after that, I start hearing about OpenSea and all these art, digital art that you can, like all this new world for us. And one question, how has art influenced your designs as a student in architecture?
I think art has given me vision. So I always try to incorporate it into my designs in a very illustrative way. I always want to, of course, we all want our designs to look good. But I think in my experience, in my opinion, I think I have taken that next step to apply that art and make it look artistic, So yes, I think it does have influenced my visuals, my illustrations, all that kind of stuff.
And how does art is part of you in the daily life? How do you keep creative yourself? And I know that once, like real work is totally different from a school. Sometimes it can get very routine. You can get into a routine and can be very, very technical. And how do you incorporate art in your daily life for yourself to keep, like alive and creative,
I do have some personal projects aside my work that it does have to do with interiors, with artistic projects and all that kind of stuff. And I try to always leave some time to keep my mind on track with those. And that keeps me sane emotionally also.
Yeah.
So I always try to put some time into my routine. Also reading creative books. I'm not so much into storybooks. But books that teach you how to grow personally. So I have this creative books that I'm reading, so that keeps me also into the creative realm.
I like to read, and also a lot of personal growth books and art books too. That's a way that keep myself, active, like mentally active.
Mentally active, mentally sane.
Yeah, mentally
well.
sane, exactly. What would be the most influential book for you, or a recommendation for students to read and to learn from it?
I believe this book that I'm reading now, which is the book, it's called The Creative Act, A Way of Being.
A Way of Being, nice.
By Rick Rubin.
Nice.
So I recommend it 100% because it's very eye-opening. And
can you tell us a little bit about what the book goes talks
It's about the creative mind. It doesn't teach you, it's about how to keep yourself creative and into the creative world, how to just be yourself into that world. So the book is about the creative mind and how to keep a creative mind steady. So it gives you a lot of tools to be productive in your creative daily basis. Teaches you the ups and downs. It talks about the ups and downs and how to overcome those problems and how to face all those problems that an artist faces on a daily basis. It talks about the beginning and the end of the work and the creative process within. It talks about the craft, the creation, the mind, and how to come with a result that you like and that it's rewarding for you. So I think it's a book that's really eye-opening, and it keeps you sane and into the creative,
into your being, into the creative.
into your being.
Nice.
And yeah, I recommend it 100%.
And it's another question about the School of Architecture, the program that we went through. What's something that you will change from the studies and the program that we receive from the school?
I believe, as I said before, FIU teaches you how to design conceptually, and that's something that I love from that. But I also think it doesn't balance as good with the real world. So I wish it would pushes us more towards the reality. I think it's not strong enough. It should be strong enough. I think the only class that touches reality is comprehensive. And it's a very compressed teaching.
Yeah.
So I think it will be better if they spread all that knowledge into different semesters, different several projects that you could apply those knowledges. So it will take you a step further, and it will teach you more about construction. Because yes, you can get very good at designing conceptually and having a creative thinking and all that kind of stuff, but you cannot have a creative thinking if you have a construction problem. And you don't know if you have a construction problem if they don't teach you construction. So I think it should be stronger. It should be more balanced, because it's very strong in conceptual and very weak into construction process. So I think...
Yeah, I totally agree with you. That's something that I also felt the necessity to know more, and to, once I start working, not to be, like, it's like real work is like another school, like starting from zero sometimes. Like if we didn't have experience during a school working in an office, it makes it very hard for the transition from a school to the real world. So yeah, that's why it's very important also, if you have the chance to work at the same time of studying, that's great too.
I think that's the best to do. That's another advice. That's the fourth advice. Find yourself some time to add some work into your portfolio. Outside work, like real world work, because that teaches you construction. And that's what you need to make a building work, besides conceptual.
So Diana, what are the most valuable skills that you have learned at school and that you are applying at work?
I believe the software learning that school has been teaching me this whole time, has been pushing me to learn this whole time. It's been helping me a lot to be knowledgeable in those softwares, because that's something that's industry standard that we should all know, that we graduated from architecture. So I think that's one most valuable thing that architecture is teaching me.
Nice. And what would you say do you like the most? What 3D program do you enjoy the most, or you're more proficient?
I've never been a Rhino user. I do defend myself with Rhino, but it's not. It's a good program to design, especially parametric with Grasshopper. But I think Revit has been the most. I've been the most proficient with. Also SketchUp. So I think those programs go more with the technical abilities. CAD is a basic program, so I think we should all know. I like CAD, but for 3D modeling, I prefer Revit. It's best.
Do you use any program to render?
I use Lumion to render. I've tried V-Ray, but it's just not.
I love
for
V-Ray.
Me, I try to get my hands on V-Ray, but I just find Lumion easier for me. That's my opinion, because I think the interface, easier
It's easier for Lumion.
for Lumion. Yes.
I have never used Lumion. Like, well, I started using V-Ray, since it's signed too.
Also, you've always
I
used
always
V-Ray
use V-Ray and Rhino. Those are the two
and Rhino.
my best programs.
Yes,
Yeah.
because you went to Miami-Dade College.
Yeah, I went to Miami-Dade College, and there I did 2 years and then transferred to.
They teach you.
Yeah, the
Rhino.
professor I had, they taught me
Rhino.
Rhino. Yeah.
In Broward College, they taught us ArchiCAD. I don't know if you've heard.
Yes.
So we worked with ArchiCAD for the last, I think, 2 semesters. We worked with
Okay.
ArchiCAD. I think half of the third semester. And the 4th semester was pure ArchiCAD. So ArchiCAD and Revit has a lot of similarities. So the transition from ArchiCAD to Revit was not so harsh. Rhino, I started using Rhino at FIU. And not even my first year. I think it was like I don't know if my second semester or my third semester that I started using Rhino. I think it was on D7. So my third semester, I had Fernando.
I had a professor too,
Yes,
Fernando.
I had Fernando.
Yeah,
And he loves Rhino.
I know.
So he wanted us to use Rhino. So that's when I started using Rhino. And that was my first 3D printing semester. We had to 3D print everything. So when I saw myself having to drive to Lincoln Road to 3D print several times because my prints kept failing, I had to buy a printer.
I think at some point, we all architecture students need a printer at home.
Yes, I think that saved me
A lot of
a
time.
lot of time and a lot of materials. So that's something that
Definitely, we need to have everyone should have
even if
a
you
3D
sell it
printer.
after,
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
that's something that it's very handy. So that semester I used Rhino. That's when I first started with Rhino. So it was tough because I never used Rhino before. So that semester I learned Rhino, but the harsh way. Because we had to run and he was teaching us how to use Rhino. He was teaching us some commands.
Yeah.
And it was tough because
Was that the summer?
it was a
It's
summer.
the summer. Yeah,
It was
summers
a summer,
are
so it
more-
was short
Yeah, it was a
short term
short
to
term.
learn.
Yeah.
And 3D print, learning how to 3D print. So
Yeah, the class with Fernando, it was the one that one of the classes that I enjoyed the most.
I liked Fernando. I liked his teachings, but I feel like I didn't do good in that class. So it was not my best semester.
Okay.
To
And
be
what did
honest.
you learn about, those semesters? We have good and bad semesters. About those bad semesters, what are your learnings? What do you learn from them that, okay, I should do this next semester better, or something that...
With him, I think it was the graphics.
The graphics.
So I used Rhino and V-Ray for that semester. So I think it taught me some graphic that I needed to do better. And I used them to make the next ones look nicer.
Nicer.
So I think that's one thing that I learned from him, also to buy a 3D printer. So I learned from him that I needed a 3D printer to
Correct.
keep myself sane in school
Nice.
and save my gas.
And how's the studio at FIU? What at FIU we have everyone is kind of like all together. So what are the most how your peers, your friends influence and helped you in the design and through all these 5 years?
I think the studio life is great. It's a very good feature that FIU has, that they have their own studio. And you meet amazing, talented people that support you. So, and that believe in you and you believe in them. So it's a very rewarding scene at the end of the day, because they have a shoulder for you to cry on when you have bad reviews, and you're there for them when they don't know what to do. So I think it's another thing that keeps you sane in that school, because it gives you this relationship with this friendship relationship that you're looking for at the end of the day, to like gives you that support that you can do this, you can finish, you can do this better. So they give you this friendly feedback that you can rely on. So for me, my experience is that I found some amazing peers that became my partners. There's this one person that I connected with design-wise, and we created some amazing work together. And every time we had a chance, we partnered up, and I have my best projects with them.
Nice. That's
Yes.
great.
So if you see it's hard, it's hard to click with someone. I had several experiences where I needed to have, not needed, but the class required it to have group projects. So I didn't click with those persons. It happened several times, but I did with this one person. So every time we had a chance, we partnered up.
Good. And what would you say your communication skills or your presentations skills developed through those 5 years? Because we had to do like a lot of presentations. So I think that's very important to have in our career. How that process, that development happened to you? What do you do? What do you did to become better at presentation wise?
The thing that happened to me when presenting days, I used to get really nervous. I still do. The thing is that when I step on in front of my papers and in front of everyone, I used to get so nervous that I forgot English. So the words came out to me, but in Spanish. So I was not able to tell them that I was not able to explain my work. So I just practiced. I practiced before. Just don't learn things like
by memory.
Because that's the worst. I used to do that a lot. And that's why I forgot things. So just go with your presentation. Just go with what you have and read not read the letters, read the drawings.
Exactly.
So it's like saying a story. I heard that from someone. It's like telling a story. This is what I came up first. This is my concept. This is that. So it's taking the jurors throughout your presentations like a story. And then once I understood that, I became better at presenting.
Nice. I think that's a good point to have in mind. It's a story. And I think to tell a good story, you need a good, I would say in our case, like drawings, graphics that also support your words and what you're going to say.
Yeah, no, totally. You need to have a good organization in your presentation, because if you don't have the work to support what you're going to say, then you're lost. You lost it right there. So you need to take the time to do some nice drawings. See if you have a good concept, a strong concept, just put it all there and just talk like you're presenting a product.
And about the models that we had to do, and we had to go to bed like at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., finishing a model. How that process was for you? Like, how early did you start the models? If you can talk more about that part that is part of the design process involved.
I've been building models since day one in Design 1 in lower division. I used to start the model after the drawings. So once I had the drawings ready, I started the model. That was the first thing that I did. And in lower division. Then after, when I realized, I just finished the model first when the design was done, and then I focused on the drawings. So after when I got a 3D printer, I just put the model into the 3D printer to print, and then I focused on the drawings. That's what I did later when I had the 3D printer. But first, I used to sit with my mom. I had the luck to have my mom to sit with me in those long nights and then do the models with her. So she was always next to me, lijando and pegando and all that kind of stuff to my models.
I remember I had my grandma in design too, helping me doing the trees. That was very cute.
It was.
And how would you say has been your family support during all these 5 years?
It was great. It was great. My mom, she, as I told you, she graduated from architecture. So she knows. She graduated in Cuba, so she had that experience. And she knows how it is. So she supported me the most she could. As I told you, she sat with me to do the models, to not do the drawings, but she would give me comments and feedback to my designs, and that showed me she cared, she supported me, and it has been great. After I had my boyfriend, he would sit with me and do the models with me also.
Nice.
So it was a really good time. Yeah.
And last question. What are your goals now that you are working? How do you see yourself in the future?
I think I heard someone say once that architecture was a joker. So it will teach you a lot of skills that you can do a lot of stuff with it. So I think I want to explore a lot of things. Of course, I want to get my license at some point. I see myself as a licensed architect, but I also see myself as an artist. So I want to keep exploring the art world. Maybe do some digital, digital art and 3Ds and interiors. I love interiors as well, so I want to explore that interiors world. I want to do so many things that you have no idea. So I think architecture taught me some skills and the technical knowledge that I need to be able to do those things. So I want to keep exploring.
Nice. That's always good to be open to new possibilities and new experiences. So thank you, Diana, for being here, for sharing with us your journey, what inspires you, what motivates you. I wish you the best in your future, your career.
Thank you.
And I hope to see you next time, all of you, for our next episode in Framing the Future podcast. Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to the Framing the Future podcast. Your 5-star reviews really help us continue what we do. Please rate your listening experience, and let's keep building this beautiful community together. For exclusive access to more design content, visit thearchitecturalauthority.com or download our app from the App Store or Google Play. Until next time, stay creative.